Let's get another check on the markets today. Stocks closing out in the green. The S&P climbing nearly 1%, while the Nasdaq jumped about 1.5%. The Dow also eked out a small gain, up 56 points, led by Walmart. And that stock rallying almost 7% today after earnings beat street estimates. Walmart seeing a boost from its grocery business and making progress in cutting inventories. The discount retailer also raising its full-year outlook. Rival Target, which reports tomorrow morning, up 4% today. Macy's, Gap, Foot Locker, TJX companies also rising ahead of their reports. But one industry luminary predicts a retail setback, particularly on the apparel side. Mickey Drexler is the former CEO of Gap and J.Crew. He's now the CEO of Alex Mill. He joins us here on set at the NASDAQ. Mickey, welcome.
Thank you.
So there's a glut of apparel out there right now. Who's going to feel it the most? What kinds of stores?
Well, and I only can really talk about apparel. I think we're all over inventoried most. The glut, you can see by the pricing that people have to suffer lower margins, in my opinion, to get rid of the glut, say as Walmart did today. We all were a little too ebullient about the third quarter. In our business, which is a small business, we had a wonderful first half, and it all kind of slowed down in the middle of October. Now, for us, I'm very happy it was cold yesterday because we had the strongest day today on a comparable basis. But there's too much inventory. There's too much sale. I think Black Friday started this week. It's incredible when you go online and look at the discounts. And that gives the customer less trust in regular prices. But I thought that my whole career. We don't put anything on sale for that reason. And, you know, we sell off goods when we have them. But we have a little too much inventory also, but we're small. I think the other issue, well, I don't like to give weather reports, but I love the cold weather, as all retailers
look how
do.
well you turned out today. It allows you to wear much more fashion. So
well, it's because I'm a guest on CNBC. So in any case, and there's a lot of other factors. I think the world's uncertain. And by the way, this is just my opinions because, you know, Walmart had a great day today.
You've been through many downturns, many pullbacks in the economy, and so I'm wondering how you think this compares to past ones, especially when it comes to this glut in inventory and this in the health of the consumer combined.
Well, I think there are a few factors, and one is that I think the product out there, in my personal opinion, is not as good as it could be, and product is number 1, 2, and 3, along with marketing and merchandising and investment in goods, not in stocks, let's say. So I think that's a big problem. There's been too much inventory for years, and it's a chronic illness that we all have, along with too much assortment for years. And that's got to be resolved by merchants who think differently. The other thing I see, my own personal opinion, is a lot of companies are run by financial people who are all good and well, but you have to get a strong merchandiser and a style person who, and whatever the style is, who understands what products and goods are the right ones. I think that's a factor. And then there's, you know, 401ks. Everyone has less in their 401k. I'm not an economist, but it's obvious. Savings are down. And I think that clouds the environment, along with mortgage rates being up and inflation. And inflation stares everyone in the face.
So when you talk about product and it's not as good, who is doing a good job with product, do you think?
Well, besides us, I don't want to...
Beside you, of course.
Well, I don't... well, my friend at Restoration Hardware who worked with me, since he's not in the apparel business, I'll name Gary.
Okay.
And then, you know, there's products are in every industry, the car industry, where I can't tell the difference between one car from another.
Right.
And, you know, the classics, to me, in anything, have a long life. And, you know, our mission is to have clothes that you can wear forever, which we do from a style and design point of view. But that's practical. And, you know, style never goes out of fashion, but fashion in itself is a dangerous game.
Right. You are our most stylish guest that we've had on set in a long time, Mickey. I wish you could help Tim a little bit.
Well, can we do a fashion school? Can we do an
what do you think
upgrade?
of this
I'll tell you what,
combination here?
I can't help him with ties, but I'll help you with casual clothes. Seriously, I like to do that. I love what I do.
I need as much help as we can get.
Okay, no, but your
you
kid,
are an icon, and my son needs help too.
Your son is very cool, and he's got a lot of style. I know he's only 11.
Yeah.
But
Well, the cool I can vouch for. The style, we need help.
I can vouch for that.
Thank you.
So,
Mickey, thank you. It's a
thank you for having me.
Mickey Drexler. Who do you think is doing it right?
Well, Restoration Hardware was brought up. One of the things that Restoration makes me happy as an investor is they are holding on to price. They've gone out of their way to say we are not promoting. And what Mickey's talking about is a retailer that's holding on, not promoting themselves. And in fact, I think, reading his notes, one of his main points was that retailers are raising prices because they know they're going to have to discount it back. And I think with some of the home improvement and at least some of the home furnishing stores, that's a really important dynamic at a time when I think we are worried about the demand.
Yeah, I mean, the point also that Mickey brought up, Mike, was a very good one in terms of Black Friday. I feel like Black Friday started in September. I mean, Black Friday deals pops up on every single app every single day. When is it not Black Friday? Probably on Black Friday maybe, but that's the only day so far. I mean, we are all trained to believe that better prices are just around the corner.
Yeah, I think at this point, people are doing so much shopping online. I think that has sort of transformed what Black Friday means. Black Monday is probably more important to a lot of consumers, especially after the last couple of years where people weren't actually going out to the stores to do some purchasing. It's interesting that he mentioned Restoration Hardware. We have a big store near us, and they've really tried to make an experience out of it. But for most everything else, things are rapidly getting commoditized. I think that has a lot to do with the quality of product. And, shopping online is a big part of that. If you're just clicking through websites and trying to look for something that might be your size versus actually going to have an experience, I think that's one of the reasons we've seen some degradation on the product side.